The incident you are about to see is based on actual case history. We will follow Kate, our steward, through the grievance investigation and presentation in the case of the smoking pen.
Hammerjeet, is that a cigarette in Sasha's mouth? I wonder what his excuse is this time.
Boards always need straightening. Son of a bitch.
Sasha, pick up your things and go home. You're suspended.
I don't understand.
What are you talking about? Smoking on the line? You got a lot of nerve, buddy.
I wasn't smoking.
And calling me a son of a bitch?
I say Boris needs straightening, son of a bitch.
As far as I'm concerned, you're done. Now pick up your things and go home. Go!
Yes, I need to talk to you.
What is it, Sasha?
I got big trouble with Steve. He gave me suspension. I think he's going to fire me.
What?
He says I'm smoking. I'm not smoking. I put pen on mouth.
Well, slow down, Sasha. Now I'll meet you outside. You wait for me there, okay? Simon, it's Kate. There's a problem I need to take care of. I'll need some time to check it out. Can you send some relief?
Okay, Joe will be up there right away. Be back as soon as he can.
Thanks, Simon. It sounds serious.
As you can see, our steward has taken control of the situation and asked permission to leave her workstation to begin the grievance investigation. When starting the investigation, the steward should calm the griever and make sure he or she is under control. Start investigating immediately while the issue is fresh.
Steve come back to me. He said you're smoking. I was writing down things. He put his pen in my...
Tell me what happened, Sasha. What happened, Sasha?
It's like I said before. Steve is going to fire me for smoking. He told me I was suspended.
When did this happen?
Just now.
Did anyone else see what was going on? Did anyone else see you put the pen in your mouth?
I don't know. The light wasn't so good.
Did anyone hear the conversation between Steve and you?
Maybe George and Amarjeet. I don't know. It was noisy.
I'll be seeing George about some union matters later. Sasha, you need to go home and think about this.
Kate, I need this job.
Tell me where you were.
I was at the line, straightening out the board.
And where was Steve?
I don't know. He came up from behind.
When you get home, I want you to write down everything you can remember. Can you do that? Doesn't have to be in English. Now see if you can talk to Steve tomorrow after you've both had time to settle down. Now if Steve doesn't change his mind and you decide to file a grievance, you'll need to let Steve know right away. Okay?
Okay, Steve won't listen to me. I don't think he understands me. He tells me, go to learn English. I think this is an opportunity he'd be waiting for.
Is there anything you haven't told me? I can't make you any promises, Sasha. But I'll talk to you tomorrow after I've had a chance to talk to George and to Steve. Okay?
Okay.
Let's look at what we've learned from Kate so far. During the investigation, the steward should focus the griever on the incident and continue to maintain calm and control. Use the steelworker's fact sheet. And ask questions about the incident and witnesses, focusing on the W's: who, what, when, where, and why. Ask the griever to make written notes of the incident and make no promises.
Steve, I was not smoking.
I saw the cigarette in your mouth.
I was writing down figures. Some boards on the line needed straightening. I put pen on my mouth while I shut down the line.
You're a liar. And you called me a son of a bitch.
I said son of a bitch, boards need straightening. Steve, can't we talk about this?
There's nothing to discuss.
Well, in that case, I'm going to file a grievance.
Yeah, you do whatever you want.
Kate, I tried to talk to Steve, but, you know, may I?
Yes.
Anyways, his letter.
Okay. I think we should take this further. What do you think, Sasha?
Yes, I got my son to help.
Okay. I'll attach this to the grievance fact sheet. Okay, then. We'll have to do this the right way. Now, within the agreement, you have 14 days to file a grievance. We'll need a copy of your record of employment from the Human Resources Office. Let's go find Susan. Hi, Susan. Could we have a moment of your time?
Yes, if it's important, but I'm extremely busy.
Okay. Well, this won't take long.
I was wondering if it is a possibility I can get a copy of my employment record.
Yes, just a moment. I have to make a photocopy.
Kate has now determined that they need to proceed with the grievance process. She has made sure to counsel the griever, identify his or her options, and explain the steps of the grievance procedure. Obtain relevant information like the griever's employment record.
Hey, Amarjeet.
Hey,
What happened over there yesterday?
I really don't know, Kate. I mean, it's far from here.
What did you see?
I really don't want to get involved. Things have been going really well for me here. I don't need trouble.
What did you see? I mean, Steve said Sasha had a cigarette. Now, was it a cigarette, or could it have been a pen?
I don't know. I mean, it is. It's pretty far from here, and the lighting in here is poor, and I just...
Amarjeet, now I want you to think about writing down everything you saw or heard. Now, Sasha could lose his job over this. He needs your statement.
Yeah. Okay. I'll write something up. I'll get it to you tomorrow.
Steve, can I speak to you for a moment?
If this is about Sasha, I got nothing to say. This day's been coming for a long time. He's got a bad attitude, he's lazy. Yesterday I caught him smoking in the mill and he called me a son of a bitch. He'll be getting his termination notice shortly.
Steve, we obviously have to resolve this through the grievance procedure.
Schedule a meeting, I'll be there. I look forward to it.
George, you've been on the committee for a long time. Like, what do you think about this grievance?
Steve may or may not be a son of a bitch, Kate, but Sasha and him been pissing on each other from the day Sasha arrived. Sasha was checking out the production scanner. I saw him writing down production figures.
Well, where was his clipboard?
I don't know. He wrote the numbers on his hand. Kate, Steve would like to think the worst, but Sasha was writing with a white pen.
Was there anybody else around?
I didn't see anyone else. Sasha might not be grease lightning, but he doesn't deserve to lose his job over a misunderstanding. I think there's some history between Steve and Sasha.
Well, I know Sasha's absences are a sore spot.
I'll have my statement for you tomorrow.
Kate has now begun to prepare the grievance. Following her example, we can see that a good steward should document the location of the incident and the distance from witnesses, interview witnesses and ask for written testimonials, identify the employer's contentions, and consult with experienced committee colleagues.
On December 9th, the griever, Sasha Petrovich, was suspended by his foreman, Steve Cameron. On December 11th, the griever was issued notice of termination. The union, on behalf of the griever, protests the unjust suspension and termination. The actions of the employer have violated the collective agreement and/or any law which may be applicable. The union demands that the griever be immediately reinstated with full compensation and his record be made whole. That ought to do it.
Our steward has now filled out the grievance form. In doing this, she made sure to follow these simple rules. Review your documentation, the fact sheet, and other notes. Use available resources like the Steelworker Steward Manual. State the union's position on how the griever's rights have been violated. Demand a remedy to resolve the grievance. Keep the form simple and general, leaving the specifics for later steps of the grievance process, and be sure that both the steward and the griever sign the completed form.
In light of the risk to the mill and personnel if a fire were to start, and given the nature of the plant's operations, was Sasha smoking when he was cited on January the 5th, or was he not?
Well, why do you believe Sasha was smoking?
Well, let's just say Sasha's not about to win Employee of the Month based on his past track record.
Steve, could you address me rather than Susan? Now, I understand the two of you have clashed over other issues. Now, let's not get sidetracked here. Sasha's absenteeism isn't the issue here today. Now, let's look to the issue at hand.
I don't know what you're talking about. I know what I saw.
You saw something that never happened.
Now, can you support your claim that Sasha was smoking?
Sasha, were you smoking?
No, I was not smoking.
Susan, we believe this is just a misunderstanding, and there's no justification for Sasha's termination. At this point, is there anyone else that can support Steve's claim? Now, perhaps you were honestly mistaken.
Amarjeet was there.
Amarjeet is unsure whether the object in question was a pen or a cigarette. I mean, did anyone find a cigarette?
I believe Steve's testimony.
Steve, you believe you saw a cigarette. Now, Sasha was a long distance away. Is there a chance you may have been mistaken? I mean, the light in that area is dim. Well, do any one of us want to see someone lose a job over an incident that can't be verified?
Oh, I can't just let this go, Kate.
Well, no one has come forward with any direct evidence. No one has confirmed that a cigarette was smoked. Now, our position simply is no smoke, no firing. Now, Sasha is a good worker. He has a new family to support. Now, maybe part of the problem all along has been the language barrier. He's never had a written or verbal warning from any other foreman. Well, Susan, It looks like we'll all be taking this further. I'm filing a grievance. Here's a copy.
Like Kate, at the grievance meeting, a steelworker steward must stick to the issues and keep the meeting focused. Maintain one spokesperson for consistency. Seek agreement on the facts. Challenge the employer's position and present alternatives to their contention. And present the grievance in writing if you're proceeding to the next step.
We're at step 3 as outlined in the collective agreement. Now we need to reach an agreement on facts. Now we're on time within the parameters of the grievance process, 14 days. Are we in agreement on the location, date, and time of the incident? Good. Now we need to establish exactly what happened here.
He was smoking, and he called me a son of a bitch.
Steve, you haven't established that there was any insubordination.
You misunderstand me. The board was crooked. I say I have to straighten the son of a bitch up.
Oh, cut the crap, Steve. He meant the board.
I know what I heard. I may be getting older, George, but I'm not deaf.
Steve, we're all getting older.
Are we in agreement that there were 2 witnesses to the incident?
I have to admit, I am at a loss. But given Sasha's track record, I would feel that Steve is the more reliable source. Sasha has a history of challenging Steve's authority, not to mention a record of absenteeism and lateness.
Look, at this point, we're not here to discuss their mutual admiration. Now, can we discuss the issue at hand?
The issue at hand is one of credibility. Sasha's record speaks for itself.
Once again, can we focus on the facts of the grievance?
Well, under the circumstances, who are you going to believe?
Steve, for the moment, let's stick to the incident. If they're relevant, we can come back to the other issues later.
Bitch, Steve, get me?
Michael, can we call a brief recess? Let's go, Sasha. Sasha, if you can't control your outbursts, I'll have no choice but to exclude you from the meetings. Now, your comments aren't helping matters.
I'm sorry, Kate. It won't happen again. I promise.
Well, all right then. Let's go back in. Sasha would have to be awfully naive to think that he could get away with smoking while checking the production run. Now, no one has come forward with a cigarette or a cigarette butt to verify Steve's claim.
Did anyone find a weight pen?
Sasha didn't come forward with a pen when Steve confronted him. No one has produced the pen at this meeting.
Well, unfortunately, the pen is missing. Now, I can verify the production information because it was written on his hand. Now, he had to have been writing with something at the time of the incident. It's more likely that he was writing with a pen than a cigarette. Now, Amarjeet verified this in his statement. You all have a copy. Unless you have other information to present, our position is simply that the facts support the griever. Sasha Petrovich should be reinstated with full compensation. We believe this grievance stands on the merits and justice of its case. Now, when can we expect an answer from you? Otherwise, we'll move to step 4.
We'll get back to you.
When can we expect to hear from you?
Later this week.
Let's go, Sasha.
Well, am I going to win my grievance?
I'm still hopeful. It looks good, but no promises. Now, it looks like we may have to take this to step 4 and talk to a local business agent about setting up a time and chairing a meeting. Now, maybe there's still a chance we can resolve this without thinking about arbitration.
In the grievance meetings, Kate maintained control and kept everyone focused. Kate made sure to stick to the issues, maintain one spokesperson, seek agreement on the facts, keep complete and accurate notes, challenge the employer's position, and present the written grievance. Let's review what we've learned from Kate throughout her investigation. When starting the investigation, the steward should calm the griever, start investigating immediately, use a grievance fact sheet, ask appropriate questions, get written statements, make no promises. When preparing the grievance, the steward should counsel the griever, obtain relevant documents, document the location, interview witnesses, identify employer contentions, consult committee members. When filling out the grievance form, the steward should review documents and notes, use available resources, state the union's position, demand a remedy, keep it simple, sign the completed form. If the grievance is not resolved by the workplace committee, a local representative would become involved, and if the merits of the case warrant it, the local union may decide to proceed to arbitration.